Hello, everyone. Are you ready for a story? Today, I'm going to tell you a very special one called The Lost Child. Our story starts with this sweet little boy. See him? He's going to the fair with his mommy and daddy. Oh, look how happy he is. He's holding his mommy's hand so tight, and he's just so excited for a day full of fun. So, the family is on their way to the spring fair. The little boy is so excited he's running and skipping and just full of happy giggles. He just can't wait to get there. Now, as they walked past all the shops, the little boy's eyes got super wide. Wow, he saw so many colorful, amazing toys on the way. He really wanted one. He pulled on his mommy's hand and whispered, "I want that toy." But his daddy kind of gave him a no look. His mommy, though, she just smiled and pointed ahead, saying, "Look, sweetie, look what's in front of you." And there it was, the fair. Oh, it was so big and noisy and just bursting with people and colors. It was like a big, happy whirlpool, and the little boy was ready to jump right in. The very first thing he saw was a shop just full of yummy sweets. His mouth started to water when he saw his favorite sweet, a burfi. He wanted it so badly, but he didn't even ask. He thought his parents might say he was being greedy, so he just kept on walking. Next up, a man was holding a huge bunch of balloons. There were red ones and yellow ones and green ones and purple ones. The boy wanted all of them, but he thought to himself, maybe his parents would say he's too old to play with balloons. So he just looked at them for a second and walked on. Then he heard some really interesting music and saw a snake charmer playing a flute to a dancing snake. So cool! He wanted to stop and watch, but he remembered his parents told him not to listen to that kind of music, so he kept going. But then he saw it. A big spinning roundabout, going round and round and round, with kids laughing and shouting. He just couldn't help it. He got all his courage together and said, "I want to go on the roundabout, please, father, mother." He waited for a second, but nobody answered. He wanted to make sure they heard him, so he turned around to look right at them. He looked all around him, but they were gone. His mommy and daddy weren't there. His little heart started to beat a little faster. Where could they be? All of a sudden, the fair didn't seem so fun anymore. The music was way too loud, and there were just too many people. The little boy was all alone. A big, loud cry came out of his throat. He was so scared. Tears started rolling down his little cheeks because he couldn't see his parents anywhere in the big, busy crowd. He started to run. He ran this way and then he ran that way, looking everywhere for them. But the crowd was just too big, and he was just too small. He couldn't find them anywhere. He cried out their names as loud as his little voice could. "Mother! Father!" Just then, a very kind man in the crowd saw the poor crying child. He gently bent down and lifted the little boy up into his arms to keep him safe from all the people rushing by. The man wanted to help the little boy feel better. But you know what? The boy didn't want toys or sweets anymore. He only wanted one thing. The kind man really wanted to make the boy smile again. He looked around the fair to see what might cheer him up, and he saw all the fun things the little boy might like. First, the kind man carried him to the roundabout and asked, "Would you like a ride on this?" But the boy just shook his head and shouted through his tears, "I want my mother, I want my father." Then the man took him to the balloon cellar. "Look, how about a pretty rainbow balloon for you?" But the little boy just turned away and sobbed, "I want my mother, I want my father." The man even took him to the sweet shop and asked if he wanted his favorite burfi. But nope, even the yummy sweet couldn't make him smile. Nothing could. No matter what the kind man offered him, a ride, a balloon, a sweet, the little boy just said the same thing over and over again. All he wanted was his mommy and his daddy. So, let me ask you a question. Why do you think he didn't want any of those fun things anymore? What changed? It's because the toys and the rides and the yummy sweets were only fun when he was with his mommy and daddy. When he was lost, the only thing in the whole world that mattered was being safe with the people he loved. And that, my friends, is the most wonderful thing of all.